Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Nisha Sajnani, and today we have with us Mr. Ankit Gupta, who has completed various internships, and one of them was Morgan Stanley. He has also received PPO from Morgan Stanley. So in this video, we will understand how did Ankit start with his programming journey, what were the issues and difficulties he faced, and how did he manage to get the dream company he always wanted. So hi Ankit, how are you?
Hi Nisha, it's great to be here.
Yeah, and one more thing that we missed, Ankit is a fourth year college student from DJ Sangvi College, and we'll get all the insights from Ankit on how did he get this placement offer. So Ankit, first of all, congratulations on getting this amazing offer.
Thanks a lot, Nisha.
Yeah. So first question that we wanted to ask you, like how was your college life? Can you share some insights about your college life?
Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think I should start with where I first started programming. So, as an ICSE student, we had Java in 9th and 10th, and I had taken it up as an optional. And that's when I sort of fell in love with programming. And that's why I chose science after that and, decided to do computer engineering. So yeah, as I said, I did Java in 9th and 10th, and then we had a little bit of C++ in HSC
Mm-hmm.
in 11th and 12th, but that wasn't that much thorough. And after that, starting with college at DJ Sangvi, I think it was a very fun experience because I've been to hackathons, I've been part of committees. We've had a lot of fun in college, but also I've learned so much. So yeah, like college was amazing. Um, in the first year, I mostly did like game development using Unity,
Okay.
and after that, in like my second year, I started with development, like very basic development, and I was really into competitive programming at that time. During my second year, like Sem 3, Sem 4, I used to focus on like Java and Python language. And then after that, like in Sem 5, I got my internship offer. So after that, I was focusing more on developing those skills relevant to the internship. I was recommended a book about design principles called Head First Design Patterns. So
Mm-hmm.
I read that book. I read a book about how to write clean code, things like that. Like I was focusing more about what will I actually require during the internship. In that time, thoda competitive took a bit of a backseat at that point. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
completely leave it because it's very important, obviously. But yeah, I was focusing more on those things and
So you
like my
started,
committees and hackathons.
yeah. So you started your journey in the first year. Most of the students don't start quite early. They, realize after its third sem is completed or during the fourth sem. So that's the best part that you started early and you were ahead of most of the students of your batch. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think it was quite funny that in first year, but a lot of my classmates like they didn't know what programming is, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just appalled. Like, why would you decide to like commit for the rest of your life that you want to do this without at least figuring out कि ये क्या है? Like, at least spend 1 hour or 2 hours looking into what this job is, what do you have to do, what knowledge is required, and then you make that decision. So they
Mm-hmm.
hadn't, but yeah, luckily most of us have really enjoyed the computer field, and yeah, most of us are still planning. So first year, mein, there were a few others like me. I remember
Mm-hmm.
one of my classmates won a hackathon in Sem 2, and
Okay.
after that, everyone like he was the craze. He We have to become like him. So
Mm-hmm.
it's also an inspirational factor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to be jealous. You have to be motivated looking at your friends achieving
Yes.
things. Hmm. So, how did the internship process started? What did you prepare and how did you prepare? Was the internship useful? So, we want to know everything about internships.
Uh, so focusing primarily on Morgan Stanley internship.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I had done maybe 2 or 3 other internships, which are smaller ones. I got those offers via LinkedIn or via an internship fair we had organized at college,
Mm-hmm.
and one was even through this Google form that was circulated via WhatsApp. So, matlab, smaller startup internships, so those opportunities come very randomly, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not that difficult. You don't really have to prepare for them. If they like you, then they'll take you. And when it comes to like bigger companies like Morgan Stanley, a lot of preparation tends to be required. I was lucky that they came early Sem 5. So, like around I think June or July 2019, Morgan
Okay.
Stanley for the first time came to TJ with internship as well as for full time. So full time they used to come before also, but
Mm-hmm.
first time they were offering an internship. So obviously all of us were like very scared and we didn't know what we'll do. Like we
Mm-hmm.
hadn't, a lot of my classmates hadn't even started preparing for placements. So I think the few of us, like I think 5 or 7 of us who had done competitive in second year, had a huge boost. uh, I didn't specifically prepare for Morgan Stanley because it was announced like a week before they came, and as I said, usse pehle, there wasn't a concept at all of
Mm-hmm.
big companies coming for internships. But
Correct.
yeah, I think Sem 4 exams had recently gotten over. I had done a 1 month internship in June. I was thinking of giving the GRE to prepare for masters, and suddenly these guys come along, and yeah, I went through the interview process, and somehow, like I think I was lucky. Plus, I think obviously the competitive part in second year helped, and I was able to get the opportunity.
That's great. That's great, Ankit. So, what did they ask in the interview? What were the questions like, basically?
So the process was very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, at college, we had the coding round. So that was like an online aptitude test. They had sent some moderators from the company. I think they had used a third party or something for the website on which we
Okay.
had to do the coding.
Mm-hmm.
There were around 6 or 7 debugging questions where a short, I think 15-20 line code snippet was given, and we either had to write a function that adds to that code or else find some mistake. So like there were simple mistakes. If they had put a for loop and then they had put a semicolon at the end. So the for loop
Okay.
was not actually being run, like the loop was running an empty statement instead of the block below it. And
Mm-hmm.
at one place the variable name was wrong. Two variables were there, x and y, and the loop had to go over x, but they actually went over y.
So
So such
those
simple
questions
things.
require presence of mind, and sometimes we tend to just lose those questions as well because of the pressure.
I think it's
Mm.
yeah, that's the thing. Like people lose out on pressure. So
Mm.
I think uh, it's very helpful if you can go there with like a calm and composed mind where you aren't very nervous
Mm-hmm.
and you can just think about it as a normal programmer. Because anyone who's spent any amount of time programming before giving such a test would easily be able to solve these things.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, this was the first section. We had around 6 or 7 questions for 20 minutes. The second section was generic competitive programming type questions, DSA questions. So they focused mostly on array, linked list. I think there was one where the knapsack problem was used. Uh, so we just had to maximize the profits there. And yeah, it was very simple stuff that was taught to us in college in data structures and algorithms. But
Okay.
if people just read tech max and they don't study those subjects properly, they don't practice it, they don't pay attention in practicals, then they won't
Mm.
be able to solve it. But the bare minimum here is at least do that much. And
Mm.
obviously if you have done competitive, then it's like the back of your hand to be able to solve those questions.
So those
And then
questions
we had
you
a
were
simple quant
asked,
section.
yeah, you were asked to code those programs, or just in the interviews you were asked to explain those
This
questions.
was coding, this was just
Okay.
coding. So this was
Mm-hmm.
the first round, and I think around 200 plus third year students had attempted this test because
Okay.
it was open to all departments. So even people
Mm-hmm.
from like mechanical, production, electronics, they were trying these things. uh, then out of that, I think three of us had been shortlisted to go to the Morgan Stanley campus for the interview process. So
Okay.
till now, this was just on the college computer. But after that, we got 1 day holiday from college to go to Morgan Stanley, and yeah, we were sitting there all day. We had one tech interview. We were supposed to have a group discussion, but they removed too many people during the first tech round only, and then they thought that there's just 5 people left. There's no point of doing a GD with 5 people, so they skipped the GD. But they
Mm-hmm.
did say that usually they do have a GD, and
Mm-hmm.
then we had a one HR interview. So I actually have a document that I had prepared. This is 1 year old, so I don't remember that much depth about each question.
Okay.
But I have a document that I'll share with you that you could share that we
Yes,
can
yes,
read.
we can just add that document in the description. You can find that in the description below. What was the interview process for Morgan Stanley? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So what were the questions in the tech round? Do you remember a few questions? What was it related to? Was it related to data structures or any programming language or your projects, something like that?
Uh, so I think the tech interview was the first time that someone was going through our resume. So
Mm-hmm.
before that, there was just a pointer cutoff that you need to have 8.5 pointer or above. Then you can give that aptitude round. Then based
Okay.
on that aptitude round that we had given, we were allowed to give the tech interview on campus. So that's when they first time looked at our resume. So definitely a lot of questions related to our prior experience were also asked. I had stupidly mentioned pandas and NumPy and scikit-learn on my skills section of my resume. So the interview somehow, I think he might have been proficient with machine learning. So he really grilled me on that, and I didn't know that much because I'd only seen like some YouTube videos and gone to 1 or 2 workshops. I hadn't actually done much machine learning at that
Mm-hmm.
point of time. So yeah, that was pretty bad. But after that, he focused on operating systems. Like he asked me stuff like deadlock and context switching. Then
Okay.
he asked me questions about DBMS. He asked me to write a SQL query. These were the starting few questions. After
Mm-hmm.
that, I think almost half an hour to 45 minutes, we were just doing DSA based questions. So like maybe 15 minutes, he was asking me all these background questions. And then
Mm-hmm.
the main focus of the interview was obviously the competitive side, where he
Okay.
asked me, I think, one question: what is the minimum set of characters that you can append to a string to make it a palindrome? So say we have the word banana, so you can
Okay.
add A and B at the end to make it a palindrome,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Okay. That's cool. So once you went inside Morgan Stanley, like how was the internship experience? What projects you worked on?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this year it was quite wild because they were planning for it to be a offline internship. Like we go to the campus and work over there, and they were willing
Mm-hmm.
to like even pay for our accommodation and flight tickets and stuff if we are coming from outside the place where it's located. But due to the whole COVID situation, it had to be done work from home,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Correct.
internship was in May. And as we know, end of March is when this whole lockdown thing happened, and we weren't sure it's. We were thinking it's going to open in 15 days. So the way they handled that, like I wanted to talk about that as well,
Yeah, yeah.
because they provided us online resources to actually learn a bunch of things. Like they gave us access to this website called Pluralsight. It's sort of like
Mm-hmm.
Coursera, but I think it's much better, the quality of the content over there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to learn stuff related to Java, data structures, algorithms, a lot of generic stuff that we've already learned at college, plus a little more like Angular and things like that. Then once we joined, we were allocated a project, and they
Mm-hmm.
also had trainings. So in the trainings, they were just teaching us stuff where Morgan Stanley employees had Zoom calls with us, and they were teaching us specific topics and taking our doubts related to those topics.
Okay.
In parallel, the project experience I think was the most interesting because before this, most of the internships, like startup internships, feel very exploitative. They feel like you're just getting code ready for the company. They don't care about quality. They don't care about the learning of the intern. Where here it
Mhm.
felt like it's completely opposite, where it's like they are focusing on you and the projects that are important is you. So that was a good experience. My project was basically to build an API in C Sharp that uh, did a specific task. Obviously, I can't get into the details,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
yeah, so we were allocated one buddy and one manager per intern. Some of us interns got to work on like company projects. My project was a little more well, it was more of a side project where my manager had uh, like they have this internal hackathon at Morgan Stanley. So he had
Mhm.
come up with that idea during that internal hackathon, and it
Okay.
was not a polished product, and they wanted to get it polished so that it may be useful to the company at some point. But
Correct.
yeah, it wasn't really a finance related project or something that was core Morgan Stanley working related project,
Okay.
more of a side project.
But
So
you
there
learned
weren't any
from
other
that,
interns.
correct?
Yeah, so like
Hmm.
even though there were around 75 total interns working for Morgan Stanley this year in India,
Mhm.
uh, there wasn't any other intern in my team. Like I was working on it alone with my manager and the buddy, where they barely contributed to the code because they had their uh, main official work as well that they had
Mhm.
to do, their main project that they were working on at Morgan Stanley. So I
Mhm.
was the one who was mainly contributing to this project.
That's great. That's great. So post the internship, how did you receive PPO? Did you have any interview or just it was a direct PPO offered to you?
So the process is that they have a demonstration of the project that you've built, and they have a conversion interview. So both of
Okay.
them happened in the same week. We had to present our project to everyone who wants to see it in the company, along with to your team, okay, like the highest positions in your team. So my manager's manager and the
Senior
corresponding team in the New
management,
York office.
basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
basically the senior management, and
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about our project. So I think the process for like giving a PPO took into account all the reviews of people who interacted with you, such as your manager, your team manager, senior management who saw your project, all of those people, plus the obviously the conversion interview. The conversion interview was pretty generic. That also the questions in that also are there in that same document. That
Okay.
also focused on threading, on Java, object-oriented programming stuff, and DSA. He asked me a depth first search based question, Dijkstra algorithm based question. There was system design as well. So like they look
Okay.
into overall knowledge of the student.
So you talked about a lot about how did you get into Morgan Stanley? What was the interview experience like? What was the internship like? I just have one more question. Like, did you focus more on the projects while preparing for the interviews or more on the competitive programming? So, if I asked you the focus areas between the two, what is the focus point between the two?
I think it's not like one is more important than the other. They just
Mm-hmm.
serve different uses. Like competitive is it's not just about like you get a global rank in ICPC or something like that. Uh, you do get direct job offers from those things. But if your focus is college placements of companies that are coming to your college, then
Mm-hmm.
as long as you have the aptitude in competitive programming, if you are able to solve implementations of basic data structures and algorithms and being able to apply them to get efficient solutions to a problem, as long
Mm-hmm.
as you have that, you'll be fine in the company interviews. And project development, I think it's less relevant during the interview, but it's a lot more relevant once you are inside. So like as an intern, I was really able to hit the ground running because I had a lot of development experience. Like as I said, I was supposed to build an API, and
Mm-hmm.
even though I wasn't really asked, I also built a testing page for it because I knew that doing it always in Postman or Insomnia and things like that, it starts getting annoying. So just being able to
Mm-hmm.
click one button and that entire request goes. I just
Yeah.
quickly whipped that up in HTML. So my manager really liked that. I was already very proficient with Git because everything that I've built was on GitHub. I also worked in a team during one of my college committee timings where we were building a project together. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to work with other people, how to, use all these Jira boards and Asana boards and all those things, where you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to, like, you're giving those cards and then you have to click on them and add
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
progress
yeah.
and things like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
already knew a lot of that stuff. So it was very easy for me to quickly adapt to whatever project we had to work on. Uh, and also, like, one important point was I didn't know C Sharp before I joined Morgan Stanley, but my entire project had to be built in C Sharp. So I
Yeah.
had to learn it over maybe a week or two, right? It was an 8-week internship, and I must have spent at least 5 weeks on the project, maybe two
Okay.
weeks learning C Sharp, and a week for the presentation and conversion interview and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in those 2 weeks, I had to pick up the language enough that I can actually apply it properly and convince the team that I'm good enough to hire for as a full-time
Yeah, yeah,
employee.
yeah, yeah. So,
So
once you know the basics of a language, once you have the grip on one language, switching to another language is not that difficult. Once you are clear with the concepts, then it's quite simple.
yeah, so actually someone gave me this example. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember where I heard it, but
Mm-hmm.
programming languages are like, it's like a bow tie shape. Okay, firstly there's like a lot of syntactical difference. If you're working in Python or Java or C, you'll see that, okay, how do I print? Okay, this is the command. How do I sort an array? Okay, this is the command. And then after you've got through that part, then the middle part is same for all of them, of being able to come up with a solution for a problem. So,
Correct.
and then it starts diversifying into, like, Java goes into object oriented and design patterns. Python, you'll go into more scripting side. C, you'll go into more system programming side. So I think being able to reach at least the level two where you've reached the center part and you are able to solve any problem using at least one programming language. After
Mm-hmm.
that, if picking up any different programming language is just about doing the step one again, and automatically in that new language also you've completed step two,
Yeah, yeah.
because
The
that's
step
same for all
two
languages.
is basically the logic development. So the more you
Exactly.
practice, the better is your logic.
Exactly.
Hmm. And I wanted to ask about the resume building as well. So, how was your resume? What were the projects like? How many projects were there? What was your CGPA like? Is CGPA important for companies? So, the basic things. Yeah.
Right. So my resume was, I think, decent. It wasn't something very impressive. Like, I know people who have done like GSOC in their first year and things like that. So in comparison, my resume was like very, very normal, where I had a few college projects, maybe one or two hackathon projects,
Mm.
and during my internship interview, I had never even won a hackathon. I had not even reached the top 10 of a hackathon. So all my projects were like pretty bad. Only one project I think stood out, which was this attendance system that I had built for the college. This was
Okay.
part of that committee I told you guys about Unicode, where three or four of us worked together on that project for 6 months to actually build it, then talk to the teachers and get it deployed in the college. So till
That's
last
great.
semester, the attendance of DJ Sangvi Computer Engineering Department was taken using an app that was built by
Mm.
us in our second year. So that
Oh.
was a great experience.
So, you brought a
Uh,
change, even though it's a
yeah,
college level, but it's a change. Yeah.
yes, yes. So I think that was very helpful to actually deploy a real world project and, be able to work with other people, technically clients. I mean, they were our teachers, but they had
Yeah.
their own problems. They had to be taught how to use it and things like that. So that was
Mm-hmm.
also a fun experience that I was able to talk about during my HR interview at Morgan Stanley. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it was helpful, but I did talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. So the main thing is to identify the problems around you and try to solve that using technology. So that's what everybody should learn at the college life itself.
Yeah, so I think in your resume project section, it's not just about the tech that you know, because
Mm-hmm.
anyone can build a chat application, anyone can build a basic social media website, and that's all we usually see on our, student resumes where they followed a YouTube tutorial and just copied it word to word. So even if you've done that, think of how I can improve this. Maybe in the chat application, look at, okay, if they're uploading a text file, even that should go
Mm-hmm.
as a message. Maybe something like
Yeah.
that, like you add an extra feature and then you can talk about that, you can focus on that, because everybody knows what a chat application is. No point writing a
Mm-hmm.
3 paragraph or a 3 line description of what a chat application is, right? It's wasting space on your resume.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being able to identify a requirement and then being able to code it yourself without having copied someone else, I think
Correct.
that's useful on your resume.
And that's
Baki, I
what
had
gives
my
us more
internship,
confidence also.
of course, right.
Mm-hmm.
So like coming to the second part of your question, I had my internships that was pretty generic. My first internship was like a 6 month Django development internship.
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was unpaid, it was for a startup started by 2 people. I don't think that startup even exists anymore, so I don't know if that counts as experience. My
Even I
second
have the
again
same
was,
experience. So I interned for a South African company. I'm
oh
not
wow,
sure if that company exists anymore. And it was a free internship.
exactly.
Hmm.
So I think in our second year, all these internships are fun to do because if nothing else, you get to work with other people who are programmers who have been programmers longer than you have, and you can learn from them, and that's an opportunity that I think is worth it. Otherwise, if you think about perks or if you think about how much value it's adding to your resume, I don't know if it's adding any value at all. But to your knowledge, I think it adds a lot of value, and that during an interview, I think an interviewer is pretty well uh, equipped to be able to gauge your knowledge and gauge your confidence and your skill. So if you don't have to lie about it, it's better.
So if we just summarize the entire thing, what a college student should focus on more. For example, if I am in second year, how should I start with my journey? How should I focus and what things should I focus on? And basically, I want to summarize your entire journey till third year, till you got internship and also post that. So, like, how would you present that?
So I would put this into like 3 buckets, and I'll just speak 1 minute on each bucket. So the
Mhm.
first bucket would be your college stuff. That is the stuff that is being taught to you by the college, and that includes all your core subjects. Those are important: data structures, algorithms, operating systems, uh, database management systems, uh, focusing mainly on SQL and NoSQL databases, how to actually work with them. So theoretical and practical knowledge in these subjects, all the core subjects. Other than that, right, like you should maintain your pointer, because from a placements perspective, a pointer is a cutoff category. The company doesn't want to interview 100 people. They would
Mhm.
rather interview 5 people. So they have all these criteria where they just filter you out. So never get a KT, and never have your CGPA too low. Morgan Stanley was the highest cutoff, I think, this year. Last year, when I was applying as an intern, applying for the internship, sorry, my pointer was 8.8 and the
Okay.
cutoff was 8.5. This year, when they came again, they have kept the cutoff as 9. So
Oh,
if last year they had kept it at 9, I wouldn't even have been able to apply. So I learned my
correct.
lesson. Right now, my average is 9.2. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to get a 10 pointer last time.
That's
But
great.
that is something that I really ignored, and that was a big mistake. So I would suggest that at least maintain your pointer above 9. So you're safe. Like, no company is ever going to be like, I want a 9.7 cutoff. 9 is the highest I've ever heard. So 9 is
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like, maintain at least a 9 pointer. Then coming to the second bucket, that is internships. I think I've already covered this quite a bit. that it's about the experience, it's about the learning, it's about working in a team, and you're given a task and you have to do it in parallel with all your college load. So being able to handle that, it makes you better at I think as a developer it's an invaluable experience that you get. So internships help that way. And of course, if you can get internships at big name companies or for things that are very relevant to your job. Um, just I leveraged this one internship I did at Atom Technologies, which is basically a payment gateway.
Okay.
And like Flipkart uses them as their payment gateway. So I interned over there, and I was able to say that I worked on a package for digital payments. So I really enjoyed the finance side and the financial applications of programming. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm applying to Morgan Stanley. And I had proof to back it. It's just not nonsense that I've spewed at the moment, because I can say that I have a relevant internship experience to back that point up.
Yeah.
So that also, I think, at some point in some way might have helped during my interview process at Morgan Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, coming to your side stuff, that is things that you're doing completely personally without any college or other companies being involved. So there, I think competitive is the most important, because that's building your logic skills. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
have those logic skills, you're useless as a programmer. Even a small feature that you've been told to do, you won't know how to implement it without, if you don't have someone's code to copy. And then the second part comes up to actually being able to apply it in a real world. So at college, the biggest problem is that any code we write, it's a single C file or it's a single Python file. It isn't interacting with anything else. There isn't a web browser involved. There isn't a mobile app involved.
Yeah.
Nothing else is talking to your code. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to actually understand, okay, now that I know how to say sort a list, can I create a website that just sorts a list of names by alphabetical order, right? So taking that logic one step ahead, that's where
Mm-hmm.
projects come in. So that's that's what importance I assign to projects. So obviously 75% of your effort should be on the logic building side, and 25% on actually understanding on how to actually deploy it into an actual product.
That's quite informative actually. One more thing that most students have doubt on is how did you manage the college part, which is doing the assignments, practicals, attending the college, and your personal work like working on the projects, competitive programming, etc.
Uh, okay, so that's a difficult question, because I'll have to be quite honest over there. So I did sacrifice my pointer quite a bit in semester 3 and 4, which was
Mhm.
not a good idea, as I said in retrospect, because my juniors are facing that same issue where they were just short of 9 pointer and they weren't able to apply also. So uh, I think you have to just manage. Like, I did the stupidity of doing an internship at the same time as my final exam. Don't do that. Focus on exams at least during the exam time. uh, then usually the semester is such that the last 2 months are the most hectic. You have the second unit test, you have all your submissions of all your practicals, assignments, etc., and your practicals, vivas, and the final exam. So in those 2 months, maybe avoid doing anything else. But 2 months of each semester, that's 4 months a year. 4 months a year, you can afford to only focus on college. All other times, college is maybe 6 to 8 hours max in a day. So spending 2 to 3 hours additionally doing stuff that you like, stuff that are helping your own career progression, I think that's very easy to do.
Hmm. You have made it quite simple for everyone actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any other tips that you want to give to students who are starting their preparation or giving interviews currently?
I think one thing that people think of, like, it's a perspective thing. People
Mm-hmm.
think of like applying to companies and giving interviews as somehow deceiving them into thinking that you're good. But it's not about deceiving them, it's about showing them your actual worth, right? So if you actually have the experience to back it, you'll be more confident during the interview because there's nothing to be scared of. Whatever they're asking you, that you already know it. You
Mm.
are only scared, or you are only unsure when you don't know anything. So I think people should just follow their passion and just be motivated from as early as possible, so that when it comes to uh, actually giving these interviews or reaching this end point, that is the fourth year, you are already
Mhm.
done with everything that you think you should have learned in those 4 years.
So, start as early as you can and give
Yeah,
your
yeah,
best.
and be constantly
Mm.
motivated. Yeah.
And disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, discipline is important, but also fun is important. So, like, don't waste your entire engineering only focusing on the tech stuff and the studying stuff. Also, have some fun, because these are the best years that you'll have ever. But if you're just
Correct.
sitting and scrolling Instagram, you're neither enjoying nor are you being productive. So, it's that,
Correct.
like,
That's a great mindset actually. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing great experience with us, and hope many of the students will learn from this interview experience. And I also want to share one more thing. Even when I was in my fourth year, I was being rejected by Morgan Stanley. So I wanted to create this video from a person who has interned and also got an offer from Morgan Stanley. So if someone next time see this video who is in first or second or third year, knows what things to focus on and what not, and maybe get the internship offer or the placement offer directly from Morgan Stanley.
yeah, I think people shouldn't really be that scared of it. It's just that there are almost around 200 students per college who are applying for such jobs, and
Mhm.
maybe 3 or 4 of them will get selected. Like, I think this year only, we have a batch of around 150 in computer engineering,
Mhm.
and I think 95 people must have applied for Morgan Stanley, and only 2 other students except me were able to actually get a job. So it's
Hmm.
fine. There's a lot of other companies also coming, and if you have prepared, 1 or 2 failures doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. But if
Correct.
out of all the 20 or so companies that come to your college, if you don't succeed
Hmm.
in any of them, then yeah, then it's a problem. So people
Yeah.
shouldn't be lose their motivation start of the placement season.
Hmm. Hmm.
हो
Hmm. Hmm.
जाएगा.
And whatever rejections you face, you learn from them, and try to improve yourself in that direction, and then sit in the next interview so you don't have to repeat
Yeah.
the same mistake again ever.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much for sharing such immense and great knowledge with us. Hope most of the students will learn a lot from it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Nisha, for giving me this opportunity. It was great being here.
Yeah, thanks.